Just imagine this scene in your mind's eye. You've done it. We found you the perfect house. You survived the negotiation gauntlet, the counter offers, the what about this repair conversations, the holding your breath waiting for the appraisal. Your mortgage is approved, the packing tape is everywhere, and you can almost taste the moment you're going to get those new keys. You may be thinking, it's over. I made it. Now, let's pause right there. Gently, with a lot of heart, however, with the realism you need. The single most anxiety inducing day in the entire home buying process isn't the house hunting, it's not the inspection, it's closing day. It's a day where 1,000 tiny threads, financial, legal, and logistical, all have to be pulled tight and tied into a perfect bow at the same moment. And if one thread snags, the whole thing can feel like it's unraveling. I've been a broker in the room for over 11 years here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I've seen the sheer, unadulterated joy on a first-time home buyer's face when the recording is confirmed. And I've also held the hand of a seller 3 hours past the scheduled closing because a wire transfer got stuck in the digital Bermuda Triangle. I've watched people walk into a title office looking like they're headed to a final exam and walk out looking like they just won the lottery. So today, I'm going to pull back the curtain, all of it. I'm going to talk about the 5 pillars of closing day here in Biloxi, Gulfport, Long Beach, you name it. The wires, the signing marathon, the recording, the final walkthrough, and the utility shuffle. My goal by the end of this is simple. I'm going to take the unknown and make it known. I'm going to replace that knot in your stomach with a checklist in your hand. Because knowledge isn't just power on closing day. It's also peace of mind. So welcome to Living in Biloxi. I'm Micah Tinkler, the broker and owner of Double Win Realty. Your Mississippi house sold or will buy it. However, today I'm not going to be talking about listing and selling a home. I'm going to talk about finishing the process. This video is for everyone. The first-time home buyer in Ocean Springs who's never seen a HUD-1 settlement statement, or the seller in Pass Christian downsizing after 30 years. The military family PCSing to Keesler who want a seamless transition from Puerto Rico. The process is universal. However, I'm going to give you the Mississippi Gulf Coast flavor version. Because doing this in Biloxi isn't quite like doing it anywhere else. Why is understanding closing day so critical? Well, 2 reasons. First, it's where the money moves. We're talking life savings, down payments, proceeds that fund your next chapter. A mistake here isn't a typo, it's a financial event. Second, it's the legal transfer of everything. The piece of land, the building on it, the right to that gorgeous view of the Back Bay. Everything shifts from one name to another in the county courthouse books. That's profound. And yet, folks often are so fixated on the big moment, the key handover, that they treat the steps to get there as a nuisance. That's when things get missed. My job as your broker is to be the conductor for this orchestra. I'm not playing every instrument. However, I know the score, and I prevent the trumpet from entering 4 bars early. So grab a beverage. I like coffee, even though right now I'm drinking tea. Maybe grab a notepad. And let's break down the symphony of closing day. Let's start with the thing that causes the most cold sweats, the wire transfer. This is how you bring your closing costs and down payment to the table. This is not Venmo. It is not like paying a bill online. Your funds must be cleared and in the title company's escrow account before you can sign anything. Not sent, not pending, cleared. You get the wiring instructions from the title company. They will look official with account numbers and routing information. Please call the title company using a number you know is theirs, preferably from their website, not just from the email, and verbally confirm the details. Wire fraud is a real nasty business. I've seen it almost happen. So you want to do this, 24 to 48 hours ahead of your scheduled closing appointment. If your closing is at 1 p.m. on Friday, do not walk into your bank at 10 a.m. that morning. Banks have cutoff times, typically 2 or 3 p.m. local time, and wires may take hours to process. A Saturday afternoon wire that hits a snag may not resolve until Monday. You do not want to have your closing delayed because someone thought initiated meant delivered. The final walkthrough. This is risk management. This happens in the 24 hours ahead of closing. This is not a second inspection. It's a verification. You're confirming the property is in the condition you agreed it would be in when you signed the contract. We're checking for 3 big things, right? That any agreed upon repairs are done. I'm asking for receipts and invoices from the seller's contractor. Did the AC service really fix the capacitor? Well, let's see the paperwork. That the home is empty and broom clean. Unless you've agreed otherwise, like when you're buying furniture or some other personal property, you'd be surprised how much stuff people leave behind in a shed or an attic or a garage, right? We're also looking to make certain nothing has materially changed since the inspection, right? Did a summer storm come through and put a tree limb through the shed roof? Are all the appliances still there that we agreed to, and are they still functioning? Maybe we want to turn on the stove, run the disposal, flush every toilet. Here's the realism. This is your last point of leverage. If the seller promised to leave the riding lawnmower and it's gone, we want to address this ahead of closing. Once you sign, the house is yours as it stands. All right? We do not want you doing your walkthrough on a beautiful old home in the past, and find out that the seller has cracked the porcelain sink in the half bath. It may have been an accident. However, it's new damage, and that's not the house that you had agreed to purchase. Things have now changed. We may be able to get you a credit closing to cover replacement or repairs. However, if we had skipped that walkthrough, then the cost would just be squarely in your lap. We want to know before we go. All right, now let's talk about that signing marathon and that stack of papers and what they may actually need, what they actually mean, right? At that point in time, you're sitting in the title company's office. You'll be sitting at a big table. A nice patient closing agent or an attorney is going to be sitting beside you, and they're going to hand you a giant stack of papers that may feel a bit like a novel. Avoid panic. I'm going to group them up for you here, right? First off, we got the loan docs. This is your mortgage company's paperwork. The big one is the promissory note, your official IOU to the bank. Then you have the deed of trust or the mortgage, which is the document that uses the house as collateral for that note. You're going to initial and sign 100 different places, and the closing agent is going to be there to guide you. Then we have the settlement statement. This is the financial gospel of the transaction. It lists every single dollar coming in and going out. The sales price, your loan amount, any credits, the seller proceeds, my service fee, the title fees, the recording fees, the prepaid taxes and insurance. You're going to want to look at this and compare it to the estimate that you should have gotten earlier, preferably the day before. Ask questions. Why is this fee here? That is completely within your right. Then we're looking at the deed, which is the most important document for the seller to sign. This is the document that legally transfers ownership from them to you, the buyer. It's going to be notarized and then sent to the county courthouse to be recorded. Then we have the bill of sale, which may transfer the ownership of any personal property, like the fridge that's staying, or maybe not, or the riding lawnmower that was agreed to. Right? Then we have the affidavits and the disclosures. You may have to swear that you're not a foreign entity, or that you are John Alfred Smith and not George Andrew Smith, right? Any aliases, and other folks who have got similar names. You have to swear that which one that you are. Yeah, they may have to promise that you're going to occupy the home within 60 days, or that you're aware of any flood zones. There's going to be a property condition disclosure statement that the seller had filled out when they listed the property, and the seller is going to need to sign on that same disclosure saying that nothing has changed since they initially signed that. Now, this is all a bit on the tedious side. However, it's, this isn't a test. We can ask for a break. Feel free to ask questions. The title attorney is going to sit with you, and they're going to point to the key lines, and they're going to translate, hey, this one means the bank owes it until you pay them off, right? This fee is for the county to make your ownership official. My role here is largely decorative. However, I've got the supporting documents and may be able to provide important context and clarity. I work hard to make this smooth and avoid it all going pear-shaped at the closing table. Then we're going to get up to the moment that you actually own the home. This can be the most misunderstood part. You sign at 2 p.m. You get the keys. However, officially, you don't legally own the house at 2:05 p.m. The signed notarized deed must be physically or electronically delivered to the county courthouse, whether that be Harrison, Hancock, or Jackson, and entered into the public land records. That's recording. The title company handles this via a courier or other transfer means directly after the closing. So why does this matter? Well, until the deed is recorded, the seller is still the legal owner of record. It's a tiny window of risk. The title company will usually release the keys at signing, before they've even confirmed that the deed has been submitted for recording. Actual confirmation from the clerk might take a few hours, or it may not be until the next day before the title company receives confirmation that it has been recorded. So when I slide the keys across the table, it usually means the transaction is complete, and yet it is reversible. Mississippi lacks a clear legal pathway for resolving issues that come up between signing and recording. If something comes up, we rely on the cooperation of all parties to resolve the situation. It is possible to intercept and halt the contract at the title company before it is submitted to land records. Now let's get to the utilities shuffle. This is the most practical living in it part. Coordination is key. You do not want the power cut off on the old owner before you've put it in your name, especially if there's a freezer full of food or a sump pump in a rainstorm. We're going to want to schedule the switch ahead of time. We're going to call the utilities, typically a week before closing, to schedule the switch of service into your name, effective on the closing day. We're talking about Mississippi Power or Coastal Electric if you're in their zone, the water and sewer, which has got a little bit of a caveat to it, gas service, if applicable, trash service, cable, internet, etc. A pro tip for the sellers, do not cancel your service effective the day of closing. You want to set it for the day after closing. We're going to get a little bit of a buffer. If the closing gets delayed a few hours, the power stays on for the entire walkthrough. It's a courtesy that can prevent massive headaches. For final meter readings, the title company may end up coordinating final readings for water. However, it's on you to call and set up your new account. For this, you're going to need a copy of the warranty deed, which you will receive at closing, so that you can shift the water bill into your new name. You can set up the account early, however, they're not going to actually shift it until they see a copy of that warranty deed, right? As far as power, you want to get that set up early. You do not want to be sitting in a dark, hot house on moving day while you're on hold with a power company. That's a special kind of misery in Mississippi in August that you want to avoid. So let's bring it on home. I've walked through the 5 pillars, the wire, what you want to do early and confirm, the final walkthrough, which is your last verification, important part of your risk management, the signing, which, can develop hand cramps, and the final recording with the title company, right? And last but not least, the utilities. You want your new home to be ready for you and have all that swapped over early because you are going to be busy once you have the keys. Front load what you can. Closing day is a series of detailed administrative steps that lead to one of the most emotional and significant moments of your life. My job as your guide here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast is to manage those details so you can focus on those positive emotions. The excitement, the hope, and the promise of a new key on your key ring. It's not magic, it's a system. When it's done right, it feels like magic. So if you're thinking about buying or selling here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, whether it's a condo with a view of the Gulf of America, or a family home in a quiet Gulfport neighborhood, or a fixer-upper in historic downtown Biloxi, find a broker who knows the score. Find one who's been in the title office when the wires go sideways and knows who to call. One who understands that a walkthrough isn't a formality, it's necessary risk management. That's what I do here at Double Win Realty. I handle the details with realism so you can approach your closing day with confidence and heart. If you felt this was helpful, if it took a little bit of the mystery away, do me a favor, click the like button. It lets me know what content you want more of. Subscribe to Living in Biloxi. I put out new videos every Thursday morning, diving deep into what it really means to live, buy, and sell here. And, comment below, what's your biggest fear about closing day? Or if you've been through it, what surprised you the most? What else would you like me to tackle here in the future? I promise I read every comment that you leave. And if you're ready to start your own journey towards closing day, I'm here. I'm just a click or a call away. The link to the website is below, and all our contact information is in the description. You can book your free zero obligation real estate consultation with me via Zoom at the link below. And please remember that I donate 10% of income earned by your business referrals to Crusaders for Veterans or the Wildlife Rehabilitation Outpost. Please help me help the vets and the wild pets. Thanks for watching. From my coast to yours, I'm Micah Tinkler. I'll see y'all next week. And remember, no more, worry less.